be shocked to hear this. I turned 40 years of age. And on the occasion of my 40th birthday, Pastor Brandon was one of my kind friends that came to roast me at my birthday celebration. Now, I didn't plan it. I know these days people in ministry plan their own celebrations. I didn't even know it was going to happen. And at the celebration, the surprise, the finale at the end of the night was that I was presented with a Harley Davidson motorcycle. Now, I'm probably the last guy you know that ought to be presented with a motorcycle of any kind, because I can barely drive a car and can only do so under certain restrictions. And so they present me this motorcycle. I promised my wife I wouldn't ride it without a helmet. I wouldn't ride without taking classes. And I don't know anything about motorcycles. It was once famously said of me by one of the members there at our church that I had the nicest, softest hands of any man he'd ever met in his life. And they give me this Harley Davidson motorcycle to ride, and I discovered in the last 6 or 8 weeks that unlike other motorcycles, not only does it make a lot of noise, which I always thought was kind of cool, but it vibrates a lot. Just shakes like crazy. Your dental work coming loose, hair falling out. And, well, that's not where all of it went, but I mean, some of it did. And so I'm riding over to prayer meeting last night on the Harley Davidson, pull up to a stoplight. It turns out it vibrates more when you're sitting still and driving slow than it does when you're driving fast. And as it turns out, I do a lot of sitting still and driving slow. And this thing just shaking like all hell's breaking loose underneath you. I'm sitting at the stoplight, and all of a sudden, kerplunk, right on the ground next to me. The beautiful chrome cover on the air filter falls off on the side of the road. And just right there on the spot, on the way to prayer meeting, I backslid right there at the stoplight and had to pray through just to get the bike off the side of the road. But man, I was ready to do some praying by the time I got to church, I'll tell you that. Because I realized right there, just a little microcosm of life right here at the holidays, that there's a whole lot of shaking going on right now. And sometimes, I know you hyper-spiritual folks aren't going to talk back to me, because to you, everything is God or the devil. It's the devil if you don't like it, and it's God if you get the closest space to the front of Walmart. Everything is God or the devil. But Ecclesiastes 3 says not everything is God or the devil. Time and chance happens to everybody. There's a season. I know some of you don't read the Bible, but you listen to the Beatles. There's a season for everything. Some of it's just living life. Is that right? You don't have to do anything for stuff to just start falling apart. All you got to do is get up tomorrow morning, and there'll be some things shaking and falling apart. I'm just testing this kite out here. I may try it Sunday morning at home, but I'm just flying it here to see if it resonates with anybody else, because I realized when that thing fell off there, I realized not only you don't have to be doing anything wicked for things to just start falling apart, but I waved the traffic down. Isn't it funny how things never fall apart in the garage? Ain't nobody talking to me right there. Stuff always happens right out in front of God and everybody, people looking at you. Pieces falling off and folks just looking at you like that's some pitiful white trash. Can't even hold that motorcycle together. And so you want to jump up and explain to everybody, this doesn't happen to me all the time, but there's 300 people in line behind you in the rush hour at the stoplight. So I just shove my motorcycle on the side, and I called my brother in Chicago who rides a Harley, and I said, man, I don't know what to do. The cover just fell off the air filter. He gave me the next bit of good news. He said, it'll be all right. He said, how far you got to go? I said, about 15 minutes. He said, well, if you was in the desert, I'd tell you you better park and get it fixed. But he said 15 minutes in the city, you'll be all right. He said, you could keep on. That was the next lesson I learned, is that even when stuff is falling apart, you can take more than you think you can. You can keep going even without some of the stuff you thought you had to have. Maybe somebody just needs to hear that right here at Christmas time, when your old mother-in-law going to be acting a fool. You need to know you can take more than you thought you could. He said, you can keep on going. Hit your neighbor on the down low and tell him you can keep on going. And the next thing that happened was these beautiful hands got dirty. That's how it is in life sometimes. You got to get your hands dirty. I need to holler at somebody for a minute that's sitting back in the praying mantis yoga position waiting on God to show up and show out. You may have to roll up your sleeves and get your hands dirty, but you can do it. There's some stuff you can pick back up and put back in your life again. Reach over and touch that deadhead next to you and tell him he's talking about you now. He said, your deal is you're not doing any maintenance on it. I said, what do you mean? He said, you got to keep the screws tight all the time. I said, well, if that isn't some of them folks I've been to church with. They're all right generally, but they just got a screw loose here and there. He said, you're going to have to do better maintenance. You're going to have to take that thing home and put some Loctite on it. Now, I don't even know what Loctite is. Apparently, it's a gel, it's a lube, it's sand. I don't know, but apparently it means in the Hebrew to tightly lock a screw. He said, you're going to have to put some Loctite on that bad boy. Reach over that person on your left and tell them you're going to have to lock it down this time. Tonight there's some folk in here that are going to get it back, but this time you need to lock it down and tell the devil, go to hell. I'm not going to back up, turn loose, or let go this time. When I lock it down this time, my marriage is going to hang through this. My family is going to make it through this. I'm coming out of this. Somebody holler, I'm locking it down. Don't make me run it here on a Wednesday night, because I'll do it. Don't play with me.